All right, good evening. It's Friday. It was a long, strenuous week, but we got through it. Um, got everything taken care of for Friday evening, dinner and all included. So I went through the stash again one more time. I picked out some, not really cherry picks, but some stuff that I've been kind of apprehensive about opening. And I really have a lot to open as far as time because I just won't shut up. So I think what I'm going to do is I got 5 green lights here. I've got 5 M2s. I've got 3 square body model kits. And I have this Hot Wheels premium hauler that I just traded for. From a guy I trade with a lot. Thanks, Chuck. So I think what we'll start off with, video 1, if you will. They'll all be labeled different. We'll call this green light. So I'll probably start with the green lights right now and we'll get into it. And me going through these 5, it'll still probably be a 30-40 minute video. I know some of you guys can't hang in it that long, and that's fine. But until I get more really into learning the editing thing and doing studio and all that, that's how I'm going to roll. I'm just kind of doing raw footage, if you will. Just starting out. Really, this is just for me for fun and just so I have something to kind of look back on later on, and I get to share it with everybody on YouTube. So, this one was a find from one of my rides out west that I took in June out to the property. I want to say this one for sure was a San Antonio Hobby Lobby, or maybe a Kerrville. That Kerrville Hobby Lobby had some really nice stuff in it. I know I got a few decent things there. I hadn't seen any of the showroom floor. This is a 2023 Challenger Hellcat. And what I liked about it, besides the packaging, how it has that curve and everything, was I thought this was like a little acrylic box in here, which you can kind of see the G on there, the car's in. And until I found some more, I wasn't going to open it up, but I just really want this purple thing out of here. So I'm probably going to regret it until I actually get it in my hands, and I'll just keep the box and we'll just move on. This is a 2025, and the series on the back is Series 7 for this set. There's a list of what they are. So you have this car, 24 Mustang GT, 24 Ford Bronco, 24 Ford Explorer, 24 Chevrolet Tahoe, and a 24 Jeep Gladiator. I probably would be all about having all those except maybe the Explorer, unless it was like an ST model or something. But anyway, we'll quit yapping for just a minute. I can at least yap and open. So I'm sure this thing's going to be really nice. The only Challenger or Charger I have, new gen, I don't think I have any that are green light. I want to say all of them are Auto World. Yeah, because I just went through all the Auto Worlds just a minute ago, just to kind of kill some time while I was waiting on dinner and check roll quality and stuff like that, because I think I'm going to start taking pocket wires to work, just for conversation piece, you know. I know I have a couple of the Challenger and Charger from Auto World, but I don't think I have any green lights. So I'll put that over there for later. Like I said, this does have a little... Oh man. Okay, so you got the outer blister, which is actually pretty thick, you know, plus the card itself. And then what they got is kind of like a little blister that covers it. Right, and then it just pops out. Oh, okay. So here's what it has: a little twist off stand. So it's got this little tab that you just probably unclick. That's really nice. I think I saw this on somebody else's videos, but it wasn't Greenlight. I think one of those more premier bands has an NO64 or Pop Race or one of those other guys. I've only got like 2 mini GTs, and I have 1 Tarmac Works, and I have a couple Kaidos, but I don't have anything else like that just yet. So that's a really nice feature. It does have the G on the ends for green light. Nice clear acrylic. And obviously it's got the name of the car, you know, down there on the bottom. So really cool. Beautiful paint. Roll quality is probably a lot better than the Auto World. Yeah. What I found on the Auto Worlds, remember this is the green line, I'm just giving y'all some comparison, a little feedback again. The car is really nice, the model's really nice. Opening hoods, it's nice and detailed on the engine bay. But what I did notice I didn't like is they stuff a big overall diameter tire and wheel, and the tire is really thin walled, you know, like most of these cars are. But the tires more or less rub the wheel well, so they don't really roll that great. And unless the wheels are perfect, it drags tires and it rubs, and it's just not that great. You can kind of mess with it and straighten them out. I pulled a bunch of the wheels off, or the tires off the wheels, and got some of the flat spots out of there, but it's still just not right. So this thing is nice. I mean, it's got a great color. It looks good. It's light. Has all the decals and logos. They even have the sculpting right on that front air dam spoiler. Dodge on the rear in between the tail lights. And this thing is sweet. It's going in a garage when I do a swap out. So there's a side view. That's the rear. Front. And then the undercarriage is pretty good. Shows cats and X-pipe or H-pipe. I'm not sure what those cars have. I can't keep up with them. They change them so much. Duals all the way at the back. It's got the control arms shown in the rear. So rolls pretty good. I love these cars in purple. I just think it's not really my favorite color on these cars, but it's something different. I mean, no one's gonna give you any grief about driving a car like this with purple. So very nice. That was a good one to open. I was real apprehensive about it in the package because it was so nice and different, but the car looks really good outside the package. All right, so this is another one that a buddy of mine gave me, Morrow. Appreciate this. He got it for himself, and he knew I liked the Mopars, but he went ahead and shared it anyway. And I've kept it in the package for probably 6 months or better. But I'm going to open it up because I'm getting more and more into the, unless it's a chase or it's a super, super low production, it's coming out. This car looks really good inside the package. I love the card art on it, and I love it's the 60th anniversary, claim to fame for the Hemi. But, it doesn't have a limited production number run on it. It's not a hobby exclusive. So we're going to get it out. This is a 67 Coronet RT Hemi. This is 24. It's not a certain series or anything. It's probably just a standalone is what I call them. There may be a couple other Hemi anniversary cars. I haven't seen none. If I do, obviously I'm going to get them. I kind of keep an eye out for these things, on several different platforms, on Mercari and Facebook. I don't shop eBay. I don't shop whatnot. I've never purchased anything off of eBay that I can recall. I like the way I do it now. It works for me. I get to communicate with people that, I can understand, that you can validate, if you will. And the Mercari thing is pretty much, it's a little pricey, paying for some fees and what have you. But the way they validate everything and the way they pretty much dummy-proof everything, it's kind of hard to really go any other route, in my opinion. It protects the seller and the buyer. So, again, really, really nice. Now the package, I can't remember what this color is or what they called it. But this car looks the part, man. It's really hard to see, and you probably won't be able to pick up on this camera. But those grills did have a real thin finned, vertical bar grill. That tempo is actually on there. You can't tell through that lens, but I can tell you right here, it could probably be a little bit more prominent, but it's okay. It's there. They got that right. You got to give it to them. Matching color interior. No, it's black. I'm sorry. The paint on this car is really nice. I mean, they hit all the marks on this one. Open hood. It's got a little bit of a kilt to it. You got to kind of play with it, but there's your 426 Hemi in there. And I've always liked the GTX and the Belvederes. That's basically what this car really kind of looks like. All years. I mean, any of these Chrysler Mopar cars, man, they really hit home for me. Everybody wanted a Camaro. Everybody wanted a Mustang, which I love those too. I do not collect any 1967 through 69 first-gen Camaro diecast at all. I think I may have two because they're premiums. I like the Firebirds, but all the main lines that I have, gone. All the Matchbox cars of that generation, gone. That's a great car. It's a great ride, but everybody just puts way too much stock in it, and I'm just not crazy about them. I'm more of a Nova Chevelle guy. You know, they're always a little bit bigger. I like a little longer car, a little bigger car, a little wider car, and not knocking the Camaros at all. I love a 70. You know, any other generation Camaro, I'm all about it. But there's just I made a sale to myself, you know, probably 6 months ago or so. I just said people like these cars a lot more than I do, and they belong in their collection. But not to get off topic, but you know, I like them all, man. Like I love, like I talked about the other day, the AMCs. Anything really built. They had a V8 in it from 60 to 74. You know, that was the era of car that I was taught to love and appreciate. You know, my dad, he was born in 55. He was around these cars. You know, all his neighbors had them. All his family friends had them. He had them. You know, these cars, they really started a platform for, you know, a generation of his time and, you know, people younger down to my age and even, you know, the new cats coming into this. You know, all those guys who were older than him, you know, were post-war, like my grandparents' age. You know, the 30s and 40s and 50s, that was a whole different class of car. When these things started coming around, I mean, they had fast stuff in the 50s and 60s, don't get me wrong, but the muscle car era is where it's at. So, Greenlight really hit it on this one. I rarely find very many complaints with any of their diecast models. I was very hesitant to buy a lot of their stuff initially until I went to Red Caboose Hobby Shop, I think's the name of it. It's in New York City. It is the only standing hobby shop, if you will, in the 5 boroughs. Talked to that owner of that place, Alan, real nice guy. Sent him a lot of stuff, you know, for free, just as care packages and whatnot. A lot of stuff that I was never interested in that I got in trades. And he has a lot to say about Greenlight, a lot good. And I never really put too much stock into it until you go to a store like his and they have a lot of first responder diecast. They have a lot of police, fire, forest rescue. I mean, and obviously, one line I do collect is the Smokey Bear cars. They're made by Greenlight, and they are, the detail on those things it's remarkable, right? I don't do the first responder stuff. I may have like 2 or 3, you know, cop cars. I think I have a Greenlight State Trooper, Mustang, and maybe another one, but it's just not really my thing. I don't really go after that. But when I open a car like this and I start looking at Greenlight's quality, I don't question it. I mean, you're going to have a flaw here and there, right? You're going to bust one open. You're going to find one with an out-of-round tire, or, hey, there's a blemish in the paint. It's all of them. I mean, they make thousands of these things. But the diecast is under $10. If I have to recommend kind kind of an average rating. It's going to be a toss-up, honestly, if you want quality between Greenlight and Auto World. But we can get more on that later. I just really want to give a little praise to Greenlight because they earned it, especially whenever you bust one out of the package like these two. Okay, I'm going to do the Mustang last. Let's do the A-Team. This is, it's not BA's van, obviously. This is the main guy. I think he drove this truck. Don't quote me on that, but Hannibal. I'm pretty sure he's the one who drove his truck. I used to watch this show reruns all the time when I was a kid, but I just can't remember too much about it. But this is basically a duplicate casting of the Dodge D250 that Greenlight makes. I think the only thing different about this one than the Down on the Farm one I have is the color. I think it has the white wagon or the aluminum wagon style wheels. I think it has the same pinstriping on. This is actually a Prospector model. I don't think the green one's a Prospector. I'm not sure what trim level it is, but if this was BA's van, I wouldn't be busting it out. I'd keep it in here. And eventually it would probably come out if I did have one. But I love, these first gen, Dodge D150s, 250s. This is about 7 years prior before they put the first Cummins in there. But these trucks, I have a soft spot in my heart. A guy that I worked with at the roofing company when I was basically in high school during the summers, he had a 92. It was like that last 2 year where they had this body style, but it was kind of the re-release with a modern grill and what have you. And I spent a lot of time in that truck. And a lot of guys that were friends of my grandfather's, actually more than one person who lived on our street at the time, they had a couple of these trucks. And when you just grow up around these things, it brings back a lot of fond memories. And I have a soft spot for Dodge, especially the pickups. The paint on this thing is flawless. I mean, there's one little fisheye on the roof, but the hood's perfect. The bed lines up with the cab. I like this truck, and I wanted to open this one up because the one that I have that's down on the farm has a big drop hitch on the back, which is cool because I can put a trailer behind it and whatever if I want. But it just looks a little more clean. Doesn't look out of place. Man, the black on this paint on this truck is... It's like it's an inch deep, It just, when you shine in the bed, it just, man. Get a top shot of it. Tailgate plate looks really good. All those trucks had that plastic aluminum, tailgate plate. Pretty good detail on the front, kind of like the others. Undercarriage is pretty plain, but you can see where it's got the big old fuel tank. Big single muffler. Those mufflers are about 5 feet long, it felt like. This truck probably had a 360 in it. It being a 3/4 ton, that's probably what it was. They offered the 318 and the 360. But this truck rolls. This is going to work. This thing is sweet. I mean, it's just, that rolls better than probably any truck I have. I mean, so, and I think this generation of Dodge too, the people who actually live next door to my grandparents, which my parents lived there when they were together. The husband and wife, they both had Ram Chargers. I think his was it was that weird year model too, like a 92 or 3 with a newer grill. I think she had a 87 or 8, and it was 2-tone, 2-wheel drive, but it had a lot of options. I think it had leather in it, or vinyl at that time probably. It had the full treatment, right? It had the big mirrors and decal kit. It was a nice truck, but his was more of a, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was actually a fleet vehicle of the old company I worked for. But it was charcoal gray. It was 4-wheel drive. His had a 360 and I think hers had a 318. But his truck was cool because it was like vinyl floor, had cloth seats. It was like, it had to be like an order truck, right? That plain, like, I mean, gunmetal gray paint. It was steel wheel with center cap, but it had chrome bumpers. Like, it was really strange. Like, I remember that truck always stuck out to me. I've never seen one like it. So again, you buy these things to relive memories of your childhood and you're coming up as a teenager and young adult and friends of yours that own them. And this is what it's for. It helps you. It reminds you there are good things in life to be grateful for. Okay, I got 2 left on the green light. Let's do the Rocky TA. I got this from a guy I trade with. Luke, he's up in Virginia, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I'm not dropping last names. I'm not sure if they want to be known or not. This is a 2024. Again, it's a Hollywood, so it's like a standalone model. 79, Firebird TA. The package on this thing is really nice. It's perfect. I mean, like, there's no dents, there's no scratches. Like, he must have got this thing straight out of Hobby Lobby and just parked it at the house. But I figured eventually this car would look really good, out on the shelf or maybe in the garage if I do some Pontiacs or, do a couple late 70s, early 80s, muscle cars, if you will. None of them had nowhere near the power in that era, especially this car. It was almost anemic and embarrassing, the power ratings that some of these cars had. I mean, if I remember right, a lot of these, I know the 79, 80, 81, I guess 82 was the year they changed the Firebird, I can't remember. But those cars had like 185 horsepower. I mean, they were just terrible. Terrible. I bet the paint on this thing is fly. Greenlight loves their black, man. Good night. I'm so glad they did not disappoint. This car is, man. I kind of wish that there was a hitch on the back of this. Oh man, we're gonna do something about that. We're gonna have to park them in a garage together at the house or something. Cause man, this Trans Am is bomb. Look at this detail. Look at this paint. Rear looks really good. They kind of missed a little bit of the amber treatment, or the backup lights, man, make them like an off-white or something. But overall, not bad. They got the Trans Am on there. This thing is sweet. I'm regretting opening it up, but man, this thing. If you got one of these, open it up. Just forget about it. Open one up, enjoy it, and if you want another one, try to find one, buy it, trade for it, have one in the package. But this car belongs to be on display. This thing under the right light it's nice. It's way better than I thought it'd be. Again, it's probably 2 years after the Smoking the Bandit Trans Am. I think it was a 77. If I got that wrong, throw it in the comments. But man, I haven't seen the Rocky movies in a long time. I don't even remember this car in the movie. I should, but I don't. Anyway, very nice. Super stoked about that one. It's going to look real good sitting next to this Dodge. Okay, last one. I got this from a guy that I bought some. I initially bought a group of Porsches from him. He had a big buy it now sale, probably in first of the year, and he threw up some other little gems about 3 months ago, and he had some real nice stuff. I think all the rest of the stuff I got from him were chases in this car. And he had this thing marked at a pretty reasonable price. I said, yeah, sure, I'd love to have it. And it's a 21 special edition 1 of 2016. So I saw that and I said, well, I love low production stuff, right? I really kind of I seek after that with the Giant Lightnings. You know, obviously you want to try to get stuff that's lower production because it's a little less common. And I kept this one in the package all this time, you know, for good reason. But I was sitting there thinking, man, that car looks sweet with that American flag on it. And I got the Mustang Garage, and I don't know if I'm going to keep it as a Mustang Garage, but if I keep it as a Mustang Garage, I want to keep swapping Mustangs out. And this thing would look fly on the ground floor in that garage under the light. So, and I did notice it has a pretty big out-of-round tire on the front. So I figured eventually when it does come out of the package, whether it's now or a couple years from now, I'm going to have to fix that anyway. And the guys are really going to pick this thing apart at a show, or if I trade in person, they're going to look at that too. So what have you. I'm sure it'll be just perfect other than that. We're going to go ahead and get it out. It's a 92 LX trunk car. Obviously, it doesn't have an open hood from what I can tell. Or it might. And if it does, I'm really curious to see what's under that hood, because they don't tell you on the card art. They leave it a mystery. I don't know if it's a big old 331 stroker like we used to run them back in the day with cams that go blah, 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 you know, like a hog. Or it's a Coyote swap, or, you know, who knows, a World Products or a Merlin motor. You just never know. And it opens sweet. Believe it or not, it looks like an old 5-liter. That's strange. I'll take it. It looks like a stock 5-liter from 87 and 92, how they had that big aluminum plenum on it. But hey, whatever. That could all be in disguise, you know. See if we can get a shot under the hood. It's going to be probably hard to make out. And I'm sure if I can't ever tell if I get on the right camera or not. This phone has 3 lenses. But cutters on the front. This is a 10.5-inch tire car. It looks like they're not real big. But what really drew me to this car, besides, you know, it just being what it was, you know, this livery or paint job, man. It just, that's my style. And you know me, I love red, white, and blue, anything patriotic. And these cars, I grew up around a bunch of them. You know, friends of mine had them. They weren't nothing, never extreme. But everybody wanted to build one of these cars, you know, to make it a 8-9 second car if they could afford it. Of course, couldn't afford it when we were kids, but now an old friend of mine, he's building a car like this in his shop, and it's really cool to see the progress. He's done it and started some over the years. We kind of lost touch. I wasn't sure if he ever finished them and got them done, but it looks like he's going to go the full bore deal on this one he's doing now. So, and these cars don't need no intro. I mean, anybody that was born from 75 to 90, you know, whether they want to admit it or not, oh, I hate Mustangs. No, you don't. Everybody deep down, Ford or not, Mustang or not, they have a little love for these cars. They were so popular. What they were built to do, they did. They did it well. You know, everybody loves Camaros and Firebirds and, you know, all the other stuff, but the Fox body Mustang, especially the last gen Fox body, 87 and 92 with that grille, I prefer the box bezel Fox body is what I call them. You know, the not really the 79s or 80s, but like the 83 to 80, 86. My neighbor across the street, his parents bought it new in 83. It was a plain Jane 5-speed GT. I mean, it was just bone stock, single tailpipe, dual outlet. That car got tucked away in the garage for years, and they got it out and got it running for him to drive to school every day. And I rode in that car plenty. We used to play basketball together, in the neighborhood, across the street from each other, and we were friends to an extent. But I remember going to school in that car. So again, everybody, if you didn't have a Fox Body Mustang, you knew somebody who had one, you rode in one, you had good times in one, this will take you back. And if you spend any time on a track at anything since 1989 till now, you're going to see these. Undercarriage is pretty plain. Made in America on the back. That's cool on the bump cover. So, okay. Well, that's Greenlight video. I will stop the camera and we will... I'll probably leave these out for the next video, but let me just stop the video here and we'll get into open up these M2s to see what they're about.